I'm a full-time Berkeley CS student doing nanotech research, lead mentor at CDSS, Share Scholar, Excel Scholar, doing my side project on the side, developing an iOS app, participating in hackathons, and making YouTube videos. How is it possible? Let me tell you how. Hi, my name is Arda. I'm a rising senior going to University of California, Berkeley, studying computer science. In the previous videos, I talked about my work experience, internship experience, Berkeley experience, community college experience, comparing both, and I have more videos. Make sure to check the videos out after this video if you're interested in those subjects. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I balance everything, how I balance life. Let me tell you this, the traditional advice of just manage your time better doesn't work. And while trying to do everything, you might do a mediocre job at everything too. So there's a fine line in between, and I'll tell you how I'm doing everything. Now, I want you to just think about all the responsibilities or all the things that takes up your time in just a regular week, okay? And then just think about them and then put hours next to them. For example, how many hours a week do you spend on classes, homework, going to lectures, and studying? Now, that's for me, it's 20 hours, 25 hours, but I'll put 20 to be conservative. During the final and midterm times, obviously that number changes, but I usually spend 20 hours a week on classes. And then I have nanotech research, where I'm probably spending around like 8 to 10 hours a week. Then we got the CDSS lead mentoring. If you're coming to Berkeley and if you're in CDSS, I'm your lead mentor, meaning I'm managing all the mentoring efforts in CDSS. So in addition to making these YouTube videos, I'm actually on the field, just sharing what I know with the incoming students of Berkeley to CDSS College, and CDSS stands for College of Computing, Data Science and Society. Always gets me. The next one is side projects. The most recent side project that I've been focusing on is making an iOS app. Side projects usually take around 6 hours a week of my time. Now, making YouTube videos is also very time consuming. It was a lot more at the start, but now it's slowly getting down as I'm used to like the flow of things, but I'm usually spending 5 hours a week making YouTube videos as well. And I got like scholarship programs, and usually just like 2 to 3 hours a week for commitments. And we have job applications and networking. The job applications do take time, job prepping do take time, or interview prepping do take time. So I'll put that in a 5 hours a week as well, so we'll bump it up the list a little. This is a very conservative hours. This is like a very chill, normal week, conservative hours. And as you can see, the hours are already up there. And when am I gonna have time to sleep? When am I gonna have time to do personal things? When am I gonna travel during the week? And just when am I gonna live my life? Now, I do all those. I get 8 hours of sleep every day, minimum, shooting for 9. During the school year, we go to Tahoe. I fly to San Diego every other week. I'm participating in clubs and various extracurricular activities. And it's all thanks to me doing the strategy that I'm gonna be telling you about right now. So, once you have all these time commitments written down somewhere, what we'll do is just draw a 2x2 matrix, okay? And we're gonna say high impact, time flexible, high impact, fixed time, medium impact, batchable, and low impact, minimize, okay? We're gonna categorize things by the impact on our life. For example, starting with high impact, time flexible, quick mentor check-ins. As a lead mentor, I get a lot of questions on LinkedIn, or I get just a lot of people just popping up asking questions, and I take my time to answer them properly rather than just trying to answer them in 30 seconds and say, I gotta go. I find that to be very high impact, but time flexible as well. Like, I don't have to do it right on the dot. Strategic networking at various events, or actually anywhere. What do I mean by strategic? Knowing what you want, knowing about the person that you want to network with, and then you just go walk up to them. For example, if I'm at a conference and I see their name tag, I look them up on LinkedIn real quick, and then I see their experience. So when I walk up to them, I can just be like, hey, I saw that you were working at Google. Can you tell me about your experience a little? Direct open line right there, because I done some little homework real quick. It takes 30 seconds to get that homework done. Lastly, job applications during recruiting season, obviously high impact, but time flexible, like I do it whenever. But if you can put it on a schedule, because just constantly applying if you want an internship, I would say just check every other day and just apply. There are a lot of tools right there, like Simplify. It's a lot easier to apply to jobs. Now, high impact, time fixed, meaning that like I gotta do them. And also they usually take a lot of time too. And the first one is core major classes. For me, it's core CS classes. But these are very important, because like if you're not learning from the core major classes, what are you going to school for? Obviously, I'm not claiming that I'm learning anything and everything from every class that I attend to, but at least from every class, it doesn't necessarily have to be CS. I try to learn something that would benefit me in my career. Medium impact, like medium low batchable things is, for example, the side projects that I'm doing. You know, I can kind of do them whenever, and I can like batch them with some stuff. For example, if I'm making an iOS app, I can make a YouTube video about me making an iOS app and then kind of get YouTube content creation and iOS app like both on the slides. And the next one is, which is the YouTube content creation. So when I say batchable, usually these medium things are batchable. For example, you can also batch other things too. You can say, if I'm doing this research, I can get a letter of recommendation from professor, and that will ease my master's application if you want to do master's, etc. So if you put these steps, it means like you're batching work. And then we have the low impact one. Those are like the things that you don't want to do. For example, you don't want to spend hours and hours on a course that you're not interested in, like a required course. You should just do the bare minimum to get an A, so you can focus on other things. But if that class is very interesting to you, obviously learn. Like, you're going to school to learn. Another thing is, for example, social media doom scrolling. You know, like if you just keep doom scrolling, that's a lot of lost time. We can't really afford that. We can't really watch like movie shows, like TV series, like every single day. So I distribute my energy amongst these different categories and I prioritize them. You know, the high impact ones I prioritize compared to medium impact ones, and high impact time fixed ones I prioritize compared to high impact time flexible ones. The key idea I'm trying to give you is you need to understand what impact everything that you're doing is giving you, okay? And then you need to understand if they're time fixed or time flexible. And then from there, you can just put them, for example, I use Apple reminders and I put like exclamation marks, and you know, 3 exclamation marks is like important on a to-do task, etc. So you can mark them like that, and then based on impact, you can prioritize. And the next one is, once you identify these, what I like to do is doing a seasonal focus. What I mean by that is, for example, during fall, when I'm not recruiting, during fall, I lean heavily on classes and research and side projects. While when it's the recruiting season, which if we're kind of getting into it, I lean more towards recruitment. That's not only applying to jobs, but preparing for interviews. A lot of jobs require me to do some like pre-work right after I apply to the job. Like, they're asking me to do like projects, which takes time. I put more percentage of my time. I'll put some like a percentages here so you can have an idea. But I put more percentage of my time into that specific task because seasonally these things come and go. For example, during the spring, I try to balance everything. You know, spring is nice weather. I try to travel. I try to get good grades in my classes, as well as doing like side projects, YouTube content creation, participating in hackathons, etc. And during summer, I do internships. Right now, I'm at the Comcast headquarters doing cybersecurity, and during summer, just making money and getting experience. And also, talking about making money and getting experience, you should always prioritize the experience over money, because somehow you need to get that first experience. And if it's unpaid, you should still do it. If you can get a research, for example, and it's unpaid, but it's a research experience, that will open a door for you. And doing an interview, you can talk about it, an interview point. For example, my first ever internship was unpaid for 6 months. He was like, prove me yourself. For 6 months, didn't miss a single day. I was there 3 times a week at a cancer research lab. And at the end of 6 months, summer came and I was like, bro, like, I need to make money. And he's like, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna start paying you. And during summer, he started paying me, and I was working there as a cancer research intern. And that opened me to get an offer from Pfizer. And that experience like opened me to get into maybe Excel Scholars or different scholarships. I talked about that experience in my scholarship applications, which will come to like financial strategy as well. I told you all that I'm doing all these things, but I'm not working part-time. So how do I live? I'll come to that as well. After you get the seasonal approach, you should also get the daily approach. Figure out when your most productive time is. Now, I thought I wasn't a morning person until I started waking up early and realized my mind was fresh, clean, undistracted. And during the finals week, like 3 weeks prior to finals, I'm waking up at 7, 8 a.m. and just studying, locked in, no distractions, nothing. Everyone is sleeping, I'm waking up and I'm studying. I found that my time period, that 3 hours is my peak. So I found that, and then I do that, you know, try to find that. Coming to the money side of things, the CDSS lead mentor thing is paying me minimum wage, but how do I afford college is FAFSA plus the scholarships I got. And in order to get the scholarships, again, you need some experience. In order to get some experience, you need some side projects, etc. But the scholarship I got was basically paying for everything else school related. So I'm very grateful for that Share Scholar, Kevin Share, the ex-CEO of Amgen. And with this approach, you can not worry about money, and then you can work for your experience and not just for money. So overall, we touched on different points. We touched on exactly how I prioritize things and exactly how I balance everything, how I manage my time. We touched upon the networking strategy as well as how the money side of things. You know, all these things are like part of the balancing life. And some key points are obviously it's not always working about harder, it's about working smarter. And in order to work smart, you gotta identify your goals and work towards those goals rather than just working very, very, very hard but with no direction. Finding synergies between activities and see if you can link up things. You know, I do this and it affect this, and eventually I want to be in this position, etc. With this approach, you know, I was able to balance out everything. I would love to see the challenging stories where you felt like you were burning out and you felt like there was no way and you felt like you had so much on your plate, down in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. 99% of you guys that are watching this video are not subscribed. I'm watching you. And as always, thank you for watching and see you next time.